You're in a meeting, your eyes start to close, and you catch yourself, jolting upright, hoping nobody saw. Why does that feel so embarrassing? But here's the thing. In a country like Japan, that's completely normal. On a train in Tokyo, head down, eyes shut, completely out, in the middle of a packed car, nobody around even glances over. Nobody wakes them, nobody judges them, and by the next stop, they're wide awake again like nothing happened. There's a word for this, and once you understand what it actually means, falling asleep in public might stop feeling like something to hide. The word is inemuri, roughly, sleeping while present. Most explanations stop there, a quirky Japanese habit funny to outsiders. Here's what they miss. A researcher at Cambridge spent years studying this exact behavior, not as a joke, as a real academic subject, with real rules most people never notice. There's a right way to do inemuri and a wrong way. Get it wrong, and it reads as laziness. Get it right, and in Japan, it reads as something closer to the opposite. By the end of this, you'll know that rule, but it won't make sense yet. Not until you understand why the 80s were never actually where this started. Here's what people usually assume about inemuri. It's a modern thing. Overworked Japanese salarymen in the 80s pushed so hard they started passing out at their desks. That part's true, actually. That's when the world started paying attention to it. But the practice itself is a lot older than that. A researcher named Brigitte Steger at Cambridge spent years tracing it back and found records of people sleeping in public in exactly this present but absent way going back close to 1,000 years. So the 80s didn't invent inemuri, they just made it famous. Here's the part that actually matters, though, the part almost nobody explains. Inemuri isn't just falling asleep anywhere. There's an unspoken code to it. You have to look like you could wake up instantly if someone needed you. You don't sprawl out. You don't snore. You don't make it anyone else's problem. Break that code and it reads as laziness, someone who's checked out completely. Follow it and something strange happens. People don't read it as weakness. They read it as proof you've been working hard enough to need it. The exhaustion isn't hidden, it's just not allowed to disrupt anyone else's day. So what does that actually mean for you? Someone who isn't riding a Tokyo train, who probably can't nap at their desk without a very awkward conversation with HR. It's not really about the sleeping, it's about the permission underneath it. First, stop hiding that you're tired. Not announcing it to the whole room, just not pretending to yourself that you're fine when you're not. I need 5 minutes is a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone a performance of endless energy. The train works because nobody there is pretending. That's the entire trick, not the sleep itself, the honesty around it. Second, and this is the one people actually miss, trust that resting doesn't erase what you already did. The work you did this morning doesn't stop being real because you close your eyes for a few minutes this afternoon. Nobody on that train is less dedicated for sleeping through one stop. They're just human enough to admit they needed to. You're allowed to be the same. I think about that train sometimes. All those people, eyes closed, heads dropping, nobody bothering to hide it. There's something almost trusting about it. A whole car full of strangers, quietly agreeing not to judge each other for being tired. You don't need a train for that. You don't need permission from a 1,000-year-old word either. But it's nice to know one exists, a word built entirely around the idea that being present and being exhausted were never actually opposites. Maybe the goal was never to never get tired.